Now, let's move on to the industrial sector of India. The Britishers tried to actually see that the Indian handicraft industry in India totally dies. And this was done because they wanted that India should become an exporter of raw material and should act as a market for their finished goods. If supposing the Indian handicraft industry would flourish in the country, then the raw material would be used in the country, India itself, and their product would be sold in the country itself. So, how would the country become a feeder economy, and how would it act as a ready market for the products that they were turning into finished goods? Therefore, in actually seeing that the Indian handicraft industry dies in India, they had twofold motive behind it. That is, India to be turned as exporter of raw material and Indian market as a ready place for selling their finished products. Now, when the Indian handicraft industry in India actually declined, this led to unemployment in the country. That is a setback to the Indian economy. Besides, the local goods could not be assessed by the people now, since whatever was coming from the British industries was cheaper in the market and also readily available. So, this decline of Indian handicraft industry was leading to wide problems in the country, which had a major impact on the economy of the country at that time and later on too. Of course, few industries were set up in the country at that time, like cotton industries or cotton mills were set up in Maharashtra and Gujarat in the country, that is Western India, and jute industry actually got established in Bengal. The Tata Iron and Steel Company was set up in 1907, which was a landmark in the iron and steel industry. Besides cement, paper, some other industries also were set up at that time. But no capital good industry was set up in the country, which means that there was no such industry in the country which could actually make tools for other industries of the country. So, even if the industries were set up, it was not industrialization in the country, because the lack of capital good industry leads to almost deindustrialization in the country. Then, the contribution of these newly created industries was negligible because their contribution in the GDP, that is the gross domestic product of India, was also low. And their operation was also very limited in the public sector. It was just confined to railways, power and communication and ports, which means that the Britishers totally understood as to how they should exploit the industrial sector of India and how by that they would actually gain and their country would get the maximum profit.